freedom of expression, freedom of the media, to the question of democracy. I was struck by a comment somebody made earlier, which was to call on journalists to go into public service as politicians or civil services. Because in Kenya today, one of the biggest, if you want to say, inhibitors to freedom of expression is a former journalist, right? The head of the Kenya, I want to say censorship bureau because that's what it wants to be, but Film and Classification Board is at the forefront of shutting down freedom of expression. And just this last week, a ban was put on a film, Rafiki. Now what I'm interested in is the way in which so many of us accept that somebody will say we're not adult enough and responsible enough to make choices for ourselves as adults, so that the Film Censorship Board can ban and not merely classify films. And I'm also interested in the comment, I think John started to speak about it earlier, and Andrew, about what's happening within. And because I'm not a journalist, but I do come from the creative sector, I wonder if you can say something about the way we ourselves, as those who are in the sector, are often complicit. I know we talked about media owners, but I haven't seen very much of journalists speaking out against the banning of Rafiki or against the shutting down of freedom of expression in other forms. Even shutting, when one journalist speaks out, other journalists sometimes are the ones who shut them down. And I wondered if we've talked a lot about the external threats, if you might address what we must do amongst the sector, people from the sector. And thank you very much for what you've had to say.
It's shocking to hear that a former journalist has become an unofficial censor here in Kenya. That's terrible. That's terrible news. But this then tells us that journalists are humans after all, and humans are not perfect. So we too have our weaknesses. But this doesn't go against the truth that we hold. That no restriction should be imposed on freedom of expression. Just like you said, we're adults to choose what we know. We don't need guidance. We don't need guidance from an elite, from a self-appointed elite. Like I said, this was the same argument against democracy 200 years ago. People were not prepared for democracy because they were not educated, because they were not literate, because they were not, they did not have property. But then we have seen in the present age that most people, even though most people are living in the countryside, and even though most people are poor, as in India, as in South Africa, as in Ghana, but then we can still have democracy. There is no precondition for democracy. Prosperity is not a precondition for freedom and democracy. And the basis of democracy is freedom of expression. That's where it all begins. That's the beginning. Unless you can express yourself, you cannot have democracy. So we must be protective of this right, of all rights. Freedom of expression is the beginning. We must be protective of it, and those of us, and those amongst us, the journalists who have gone to the other side, well, to their shame and to their loss, by the way, we will go ahead without. And history is on our side, not on their side. And eventually, democracy and freedom of expression shall win without them.